Okay, this is as raw footage as you're gonna get. Okay, I had to stop the video already. I was gonna just do it raw, but there was one problem. I just kept running into problems and more problems arose, and I had to let everybody know right off the bat about this product and so many things that are wrong with it. And as I watched other videos like 19K Fox, I couldn't understand why these guys were so okay with some of the things that were wrong, when a lot of other reviewers of this product were severely disappointed. But I'm watching his video and going, wait a second, you have to put resistors in the middle of the wires to get this product working right, to get the colors right?
Was to add resistors on your red, green, and blue wires on your video cable. 330 ohm resistors to be precise. So what I did, I just sort of tested it. I wired nutted them on together, made a difference.
And they were just okay with it. $300, and no, not a problem. Just use some resistors inside the wires and that'll help cure your bad image. Well, if I pay $300 or $200 or whatever it is for these things, and I got to do something like that, it's ridiculous, okay? And for them not to say how bad and ridiculous it is to have to do stuff to just get a good image, that's a problem. And then I shortly realized why 19K Fox was like this. Oh, because he is friends and it has a relationship with Unico and the owner at Unico and gets free stuff. And so he's going to downplay all the bad issues with this. Therefore, I had to get this up front because I know people only watch the beginning of videos. And as we progress through this video, you're going to see tons of problems. But I neglected to tell you about some of the problems, like it doesn't have any framing options or mounting options for your cab. Or how about the controller board has a 1-inch foot cable that you can't even do anything once you mount it and change the pictures. These other machines have, and these other options have long controller board wires so you can do it from the coin door and change the settings on the monitor. Or what about the fact there's no option for Nintendo cabs here? You can't just plug this into a Nintendo cab and get the right colors. It won't work. There's no converter board for Nintendo PCBs. But as I was watching 19K's video, I noticed at the end, he said one important thing, one critical, fair, and honest thing, and that is to shop around before you buy this product.
All right, so with all that being said, is this worth putting in your arcade cabinet? Well, I think if you've got an old CRT with a lot of burn in, you have to source a totally different tube, you could easily go north of $300 trying to make that purchase. But this is $199, so I mean, 200 is less than 300. But at 19 inches, Unico is not the only game in town, and I think you would probably be wise to go ahead and shop around. Now, of course, better quality monitors at the 4:3 aspect ratio are going to be expensive, could even be more expensive than that CRT replacement.
And the reason is because many other options for a 19-inch is out there, meaning MiSTerCade, Arcade Shop. These LCD replacement monitors have all these issues solved and don't have the same issues as this Unico monitor. So now I know you're asking yourself, well, Rex, why did you get this Unico monitor? Because it's the only 25-inch monitor LCD replacement that is out there. And I was building my class of 81, which has a 25-inch CRT in it, and I wanted it to be a 25-inch monitor, so this was the only option I had. So let's get into it. I'll show you the raw footage. I'll show you what's wrong with it, more than just a couple of things I just listed. Anybody who's telling you this is a good product, you should unsub right away or say, what's your affiliation with this company? We're gonna take a look at the MiSTerCade hooked up to the Unico Phoenix 26-inch monitor. And then we're also gonna take a look at it running on the real class of 81 board using the CGA. We're gonna look at the MiSTerCade with CGA and HDMI, and we're gonna see if there's any difference in the video picture, the quality. Okay, what we have here, we got the control panel just to play the game. I have my keyboard over here. You can't see it, but I'm gonna be navigating the menu with the keyboard. You got your Unico monitor up here. And I just want to show you one thing really quick before we get started. You can see that right now I had it set to 1440 by 1080. Okay, what I'm about to explain here for the MiSTer and the resolution does not even apply to this monitor, and I'll explain why right after you see me go through all this trouble for no reason. I had to adjust the INI file for that, and I had to do it manually. And I also rotated the menu. You can see that the menu is rotated for a vertical screen, and you have to go into the MiSTer INI file and you have to do the OSD rotate. And you also, if you want to set the specific resolution, you have to do a video mode underscore or video underscore mode equals and then a specific resolution like this. They do have presets with the video modes or video resolutions on the MiSTer where they already set it up for how you want it. You just put a number in, but they do not have one for a 4x3. This is actually a 4x3 screen. I did measure it and it is exactly 4x3. So that is good. It's not a 5.4. It's 4.3. So we want a 1440 by 1080 resolution. Now, okay, so why did I think I could get a 1080 resolution out of this monitor? Well, two reasons. One, they advertised it as 1600 by 1200 resolution capability. Obviously, that wasn't correct. The second reason, right here, take a listen.
The fact that the resolution was actually not 1600 by 1200 like they advertised, but it was actually 1280 by 1024.
This is so incorrect that the resolution wouldn't be 1280 by 1024 if it was a 4.3 monitor. That would be an incorrect ratio resolution. It would technically have to be 1440 by 1080 or somewhere in that range. A 1280 by 1024 resolution is for a 5.4 monitor, which is common in a lot of arcade 1-up monitors or any other 5.4 LCD replacement monitor. So the correct aspect ratio for this monitor maximum without any scalers or any upscaling is 1024 by 768. And actually the MiSTerCade read this perfectly automatically, and I should have known when I turned on the MiSTerCade and it said 768 resolution. I should have trusted it and not thought that I could just change the INI file and all of a sudden make it 1080. And honestly, I knew something was wrong because when I changed it to 1080, I saw no difference on the MiSTerCade. And I was going, well, I think I can tell the difference between 1080 and 768 using an HDMI cable. Now here we have our power supply. We got the 5-volt set, MiSTerCade right here, JAMA edge, JAMA harness plugged in, obviously wires all over the place. We got our speaker over here. Just have the positive and negative plugged in to the speaker in the back, and obviously little tester for voltage. Got to make sure we have the right voltage. And then again, we do have the real class of 81 board. We're going to test this as well. And if you're new well, I'm just going to show you this in case you're new, because if you go in the scripts and update all, if you get into the scripts and you do an update all, just so everybody knows, this must be new. I haven't loaded the arcade ROMs in so long, but when you hit update all, you then have to hit, I believe it's like the start button to enter a menu to download the ROMs. So it does not download the ROMs automatically like I thought it did before. It was long ago, but now you have to enter the menu in MiSTer and then set the setting to grab the ROMs. So there's a separate setting. You can't just do update all anymore and have it grab the ROMs. Okay, so let's go back into arcade and we'll go down to Pac-Man. So we have our volume control knob here. We turn it up or down. But the screen looks very good. It's well centered. Sounds good. Now we're running HDMI. Remember, I said we're running HDMI here. We're going to look at the CGA port in a little bit, and we'll show you how that looks as a comparison. Let me turn. Now again, this kind of auto adjusted a little. Everything looks pretty good. There's good spacing on the top and the bottom, but you can take your board and adjust it more. and adjust the colors. But this is beautiful, actually. The HDMI running out is beautiful. But, you know, that's not what it was for. It really wasn't for to run HDMI out, okay? Can you do it to something like this? Yes. This wasn't the point of what I was going to do, but you can see you can adjust a lot of the colors, the display aspect ratio. You just go through and you can set this stuff up. You can do brightness and contrast. It doesn't, you know, there isn't a huge effect, it seems, by adjusting these, which is odd. I noticed a lot of it, there's just not a lot of effect when you change, you know, these settings. There's just not a lot happens. I was going to run both the MiSTerCade and the real Class of 81 board in this arcade, and then use like a JAMA switcher, and then I'd have all my MiSTerCades and then a real board as well to the Unico. Let's take a look at CGA from the MiSTer. I'm going to shut this down and we're going to run the CGA from the MiSTer. The Unico needs this kind of goofy CGA connector. It's got big pins. It's not, you don't really find this type on all your JAMA harnesses. Okay, now I wanted to show you this because this is important. The other thing we need to change is the MiSTer INI file, because now that we're running out of CGA, we need to change the file on how it's reading the video output. There are a bunch of separate files that MiSTer has already done for you for even 15 hertz, 30, and they have these files that they've already done. Tape mode, horizontal mode, and you can just use their INI files and you can just overwrite your INI file to make sure that the MiSTer is reading the video output correctly. So I'm going to go and SSH and override my INI file so we get a video output that's correct. So you can always see we have a problem with the screen size. We're going to have to do some adjustments here. Let's start it up so at least I can adjust the screen size here.
Okay, I'll spare you the headache of watching me struggle with trying to get the monitor perfect, or the picture within the monitor perfect. And the one thing you need to take from all this is there's no horizontal or vertical size adjustment, and that causes a problem. Everybody else had a problem with it as well. You get some clipping on the top or the bottom. You can't adjust the size. Now, I made it work. There's a phase adjustment or a clock, which helps. And then luckily mine is a vertical, so I could adjust left or right with the horizontal position and the vertical position. So I made it work pretty good.
You see, it's just really tight up there at the top. It's like almost too close to the edge. So now, but let's talk about picture quality and color. The color is terrible. This blue is terrible. It just, it looks awful. I mean, I can kind of zoom in, and here you can see the color is not that great. And then more so, you can see in the ghosts, you can't see pink or orange. There is no pink or orange on the two ghosts. The red is a little dry, you know, and the blue is, you know, I said terrible. And I have sat here and I have done so many, let me turn it back on. I have done so many adjustments to the color and all these adjustments. I tried to do my own. You can do presets, you know, but you can see none of them do anything. So what does that mean? Well, it means this CGA sucks and that you're going to have to go a different route. And that different route from the MiSTer is a video board that I would need to get to run and adjust colors. And another guy did a video on this and showed the whole thing. But the point is that you shouldn't need a video board to get these colors right. I mean, these colors are terrible now. So you saw that on MiSTerCade. Let's run the real board here. I'm going to plug in the real board and I'm going to show you the real board, okay? Now let's turn this thing on. Love that sound. You know that you got the real board when that sound goes bing, 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 bing. Okay. So right off the bat, you can see it's not clearly 100%
video mode or video to the top here. Let's just start. This is the best, by the way, when you get the real board and the real setup and the real game. So you can see it's a little bit off though, but let me just do this. I'll turn that down. That was a little loud, so we just turned it down on the board a little bit. We'll leave a little volume. Okay, but you can see it's a little offset here. We're gonna have to move this up. So I was able to set it up better with just a little bit of room at the top, a little bit of room at the bottom. But as you can see, holy smokes, these colors are terrible. And again, I've tried to set it up as best as I could. The colors are just not good. Even the peaches are a little bit dry. I got a little bit better orange and pink, a little bit. So that's pink and orange. It's a little bit better here than it was on the MiSTer. But even those blues are drab right here. They're just not good. So with that said, I really can't even recommend this until I get the other board and see how the colors look with the other board, the video card or video board that's going to go between these two units. I'm a little disappointed at this point. Still, they're supposed to adjust the horizontal position or horizontal width and vertical width. You're supposed to have an update to that where you can get an update and be able to adjust the horizontal and vertical size manually. I haven't seen that yet. That was supposed to be coming out long ago. Didn't see it in my update. I do have an email out to Unico. We'll see what happens. Also trying to get some help on adjusting these colors without using a video board, but I don't see it because everybody that has done a real review on this has shown the same problem. So write any questions if you have any, and we'll catch you on the next one as I do more videos on this. Thanks.